Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon for not with a team adventure as such. You see, we wanted to head to Fortune Island to do some different races. Unfortunately, you can't do team adventures on Fortune Island. Don't ask why, I don't know. But we're going to be doing some races with a selection of very classic cars, this one. So this race is for vehicles made in 1959 and earlier. So these are some of the oldest cars that we have in the game. There's all sorts of a mix from here. You've got an Anglia, a C-Type. There's the Railton. There was another rule: the vehicles had to remain rear-wheel drive. Now, I have gone with a Plymouth Fury because, of course, I have. Also, someone made a fantastic paint that is a very accurate replica of my actual Plymouth Fury, which is very, very cool indeed. So, yeah, we're going to have to go with this. Now, I built this for a different race event that we ran. It was a B-class race using the Furies for a sort of a bit of a challenge to how you build a car and whatnot. And I'm kind of curious to see how this fares in this group because it's built, I say differently. It's probably going to have the most grip of everything here, or certainly be up there, despite the fact it is a big, heavy car. I'm on vintage race tyres. Now, in B-class, that's not a bad shout. I do lack some power. At 305 horsepower, we are not the most powerful car by any stretch of the imagination, and some of these circuits, maybe we'll struggle on. Shall have to wait and see, but does drive pretty damn nicely, I have to say. Oh, there's a Maserati visiting the wall. Now, I've tried, and never have I got one of those Maseratis. I've seen them be quick. I've just never got one to work. The downside I might have around this circuit is just looking at this hill. The Alfa Romeo I know is very powerful. So it's still rear-wheel drive. It looks like it's skating all over the place, but it has got it's got over 900 horsepower, I believe, in that one. Engine swaps were allowed. Just you weren't allowed to make something. You weren't allowed to use all-wheel drive or make something all-wheel drive. So you're going to see it skating around a lot. At the moment, leading the way, I'm not actually sure what's out at the front. We have either Mercury or Hudson up in second. We are going to find our way past the Alfa Romeo in the big old furious barge. Can we duck underneath the Corvette? We will. Make that one stick. We are around that next corner. Now, I like the tracks out on Fortune Island. You know, there are some good circuits to be racing around here. Don't necessarily know them all that well. That's the difficulty. A little bit longer laps. Oh, some of these, perhaps it's probably one of the longer circuits actually in the game. It's a fun, it's a fun layout, this one. Can we go and chase down the classic American vehicle? I think the leader might be in the Chevy 1500 sedan. I think that's what that's up there, but I can't tell from all the way back here. At the moment, it's American 1, 2, 3, and 4. The highest placed non-American car is in 5th, being that Alfa Romeo Grand Prix vehicle. Now those cars, the Alfa Romeo, the Bugatti, they can be unbelievably quick, in fact, in this game. Often involves convert them to all-wheel drive and so on, and they can absolutely fly. In this, it's more difficult to drive. Basically, you've got a lot of wheel spin, you've got a lot of moving around. Oh, that's more understeer for me than I would have liked. That's way more understeer from me than I would have wanted to have around there. Oh, Maserati's actually got going, is now up into 5th. Bugger. That wasn't very clever of me at all. And that's just inexperience at a circuit like this. Just don't quite know where I'm going. We were catching second as well. And we pissed it all away, unfortunately. Right, let's not do anything dumb again. We've had our one dumb thing hopefully for this video. And no more dumb things would be ideal. Don't overdrive the car. Try to chase down the Corvette. Here comes the Maserati, actually. It's going to have a look. Has it run out of speed? Now, the Maserati, depends on what tyres it's on. It may well not have very much power going in that car. It can be, depending on how you build it, that might be the trade-off that you take. Oh, that's a big dive for me in the Plymouth. We will move and let the Corvette, or give the Corvette space on the outside. The Corvette's going to have some company now from Maserati. I mean, we're a long way back from the cars ahead. Quite a spread out field around here. I mean, this is a challenging circuit. The rain in Forza, it makes a small difference. It's not a very big one. Not really. But apart from the ability for cars to fall over in the rain, which does happen, I don't know whether any of these will have fallen over. I don't think. There's an Anglia somewhere. They can fall over quite nicely. I think that would be the only one, though, that might possibly go for a tumble. Either way, we are back to third. The Corvette has dropped back, actually. It's now all the way in sixth. So the Porsche and Maserati are back up behind me. We will not have enough laps unless there is a mistake made by either of the cars ahead. We are kind of just going to be holding station here a little bit. Now, we're probably going to have more power than the Maserati and the Porsche, but this is much heavier. It's not as bad as you might think. I think it's a bit over £3,000, which, for something a big boaty car like this, is not, all that bad at all. But, that... then the cars you're racing against are as tiny and light as that Maserati with a very long name that I can never remember all the numbers and letters that go with it, and I think it's a 716 Porsche. They're probably half the weight of this. Certainly very close to half the weight of this, and yeah, that does have a profound effect. Physical dimensions-wise, it kind of work in my favour in some ways. We can block a lot of the track. We are a very, very wide car, so we can cause... I say cause issues, but we can block a lot of the road if I don't do that. There's certainly some bits of this track that I'm quick at. I mean, it gives me hope with the Fury. Like, fastest lap... Oh, we will actually get to know fastest lap this time around, of course, because it's not a team adventure. It will tell us. I do think, lap time-wise, I'm pretty close to that Chevy. Just, we lost too much time at the start, and a little mistake has been costly. There's also, you may or may not hear it in the background, if you hear scrabbling, there is cat chaos. I think it's Eve, but I'm not sure. Cass has taken to being the Chaos Cat at times. They've got some... I think what they're playing with is they've got some packaging from an Amazon box, just like the paper, and they absolutely love to chase and run around in that. It's just their favourite game, and that's what's making the scrunchily... You know what? Scrunchily sound. We're going to go with that. That is a new adjective right there. You heard it here first. They're having fun. It's something. They can tear that up. Better tear that up than anything else that we might have. I'm kind of keeping an eye on the gaps. I think the Chevy might have really, really super grippy tyres. It seems to be that I catch whenever we have any sort of straight, and if mine's not really the fastest straight line speed car, that's going to suggest super grippy tyres on the Chevy. It's a good final lap for me, this. We may get the fastest, although who knows what might have happened to cars further back in the pack as we head up towards the final corner. Yeah, little mistake from me. Ended up in a little bit of just driving around, but we will cross the line and we will see. Lap times are... We're going to be curious to see what the lap times are. 20.7. No, it was a Chevy. I was going to say it was a Chevy as well. I knew what it was. It was a Chevy. We were the closest of everybody else. Actually, pretty close lap times between Maserati, the Fury, Mercury, the Chevy at the front. So, there we go. DBR1. Oh, it's a DBR1, not the Porsche. I thought it was running a Porsche. Never mind. Ignore me. DBR1 also not too terrible. Well, it's a podium. I hit a building, but it's still a podium. So, we move on to our next race, where we are going to be heading off-road. So, Northcliffe Scramble. You've got to bear in mind, we are now driving with vehicles that are, let's face it, not all that suited to this particular area. It's unlikely anyone's going to be on rally tyres. You might have done it, but with these kind of vehicles, rally tyres generally jumps the PI up so high that you're going to have nothing to play with. Like I said, you may, however, I'm not sure if many will have done. The Fury, I'm hoping, with its vintage races, might not be too terrible, although they are not the best tyre choice in this. As I said, everyone is likely to be in a similar sort of boat, really. Ooh, it's all a little bit floaty over there. It's all a little bit floaty. The Mercury can't get stopped. We're around the outside now. Vintage race might actually be worse off than something like standard or street tyres, just because, I'm on much older compound. Now, it's a good compounded tyre for tarmac stuff, but out here, it's not great. I won't be the only one on vintage race, I can almost guarantee you that one. We're going to bounce our way through all of this. The Corvette was all over the place. And this is quite a cool circuit, actually. I do like this one. We're going to try and sneak our way past I think it's a Jaguar C-Type we have going on. We're on the outside of a 3 wide. That's not where I want to be. It might be only a battle for, 6th place at the very front of this. I'm surprised the Alpha's doing so well. We know that's a crazy powerful machine. This is not the sort of track it's going to likely enjoy. We're all stuck a little bit together. I mean, I've got some pace at the moment. I'm just trying to find a way. I'm really struggling to find a way through, trying to utilise the pace. Corvette doesn't seem to be having a huge amount of fun in this one. Oh, that might be a missed checkpoint. Might be a couple of missed checkpoints actually gone on there. That promotes me up into a 5th place. I'll take that. I'm not quite sure how they missed the checkpoints or what one it was that was missed, but checkpoints were missed. I suspect there may well have been a case of follow the leader. So the car ahead does something. The vehicle behind is just instinctively following the tyre tracks and realised that the lead car missed the checkpoint. So, yeah, it's it does happen, that one. I've been in both parts of that, where you led someone to miss a checkpoint or been the one that was following and then missed a checkpoint. Around a little bit of lag from a Corvette up ahead. We are now trying to chase down. Funnily enough, we're back chasing down the Mercury or the Hudson, and as I said, I'm not sure which one. From the back, I can't tell particularly. They're very, very similar. I like them, of course. Wonderful machines, but I can't tell from back here. Looks like a really good battle going on for the top 3. There's hopefully going to be a 3-way battle over 4th if I can get this right. If we can close, if we can find a way in to this fight, perchance. Oh, let's not do anything stupid on the way up the hill. Now, my lack of power isn't too bad around here. I guess it also kind of stops me from getting too much wheels, but I can just be aggressive with the throttle. I'm not worried about the car really stepping out. We've got huge rear tyres on the Fury, which is always good. I can't actually remember what they are now, but they are big tyres. The only downside is I have got race suspension. So this car was built compromised. It was built knowing it was going to be designed for the tarmac and just have to put up with it on the dirt. So it is on the race suspension, which slams it to the ground and has absolutely no give in it, which is why you see it bobbling around horribly. And if we hit something wrong, yeah, we're going to lose time. We're going to lose time in this, so we just have to kind of deal with that. Come on, Fury, get out of this corner. We're pulling well away from 7th at the moment. The Corvette has, by the looks of it, the Corvette has some speed. Doesn't really quite have the handling in some places. We are going to be further back and still not quite in range. Lap time is going to be close, I think. Don't miss that. That checkpoint there is really easy to miss. There seems to be a section I can make up some time coming up here. Do I want to change up or do I just leave it in 2nd? Not sure. Maybe we leave it in 2nd for the run up there. Oh, there's a pass around the outside for the Mercury or Hudson. Whichever one, the Merkson? Merkson, yes, I'm going to call it the Merkson now. That will work. Till I figure out which one it is. Can I sneak the Plymouth up the inside here? Maybe. Oh, this is the final lap. No! No! Fury! Almost! Almost! We just got there a little bit too late. Just got it. It was the Mercury. There we go. We just made it there a little bit too late to really join in the fight. Again, lap time-wise, the Chevy was quick. I wonder whether the Chevy is on rally tyres. Possibly. Might explain why it's so quick in corners and struggled on straights at that previous circuit. But, yeah, the Chevy was quick. MGA gets 2nd place. Good showing from an MG around here at the Maserati. We were in the fight with the Mercury, Corvette, and my Plymouth. Yeah, we need another lap. Need another lap to really get involved in that one. That is the way it goes sometimes with the races. So far, still relatively happy with the car. So, we are back to another tarmac circuit, the Westwick Wharf, I believe, was the name of this one. I got a decent spot on the grid. The Chevy is behind us. We know we've got to watch out for that one. This is a little bit of a different track. We might see the Alfa Romeo do well. Maybe the Railton will work around. Funnily enough, the Railton's not really working. What a surprise. It's a very difficult car to build, that one. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to see from the Fury. I feel like this track could work for my car. It's a decent combination of speed and grip. It doesn't really excel at either of them, but it's kind of, yeah, fairly good overall. There are kind of two ways those builds can go. Sometimes you can try and build a car that combines speed and grip, and you get something that's bad at both. Sometimes you get something that's very, very quick everywhere, or something that's very, very competitive at a lot of circuits. That was a really bad time to come out in Ghost Mode. I do apologise. Scotty, now who has more grip out of me and the Aston Martin? Oh, that was brave from me trying around the outside. Didn't quite work. I mean, I don't know this track well enough to know what I can and can't get away with in this. Certainly I have more grip, rear-end grip, than the Aston, but does it have... I mean, it might not have more... It has more straight-line speed than me. I think that may be aero-related, let's face it. Oh, here comes the Alfa Romeo. I'm not even going to fight with that. Not down towards this first corner. That's a death sentence with that. We will sneak up the inside. The Aston Martin, I don't think, had any idea we were going to be there. I suspect that did not know there was going to be a Plymouth alongside. The Alfa might be untouchable around here. That might have, even though it's a death trap through a lot of these corners, if it doesn't make a mistake, it doesn't miss a checkpoint, just that level of speed may be too much. Oh, I didn't want to push Scotty through there. We are just later on the brakes in a lot of these corners than the Aston Martin can be. Oh, and we're going to get past. And there goes that Alfa Romeo. It shoots off into the distance with a big wiggle and a big slide. The Railton is... the Railton is coming into its own a little bit more around here now. That's worked its way up through the field. This is just a very different track to what we've seen so far around here. Yes, this is a lot more simpler circuit. It's a lot more straight-line speed-based. You're still going to need to be able to keep control of your powerful machineries, but, you know, you can start making the lap time out with sheer power. We can't match the Alfa Romeo. There's no chance. The only way we beat the Alfa is if it misses a checkpoint, pretty much. The Railton is starting to catch up to me. We might have trouble. We might have trouble by turn 1, actually, with that Railton, unless it has a big slide through here. I'm not sure I'm going to have much to answer that car with. I mean, we're kind of doing the better of the handling vehicles. I mean, this is what I was saying about you end up with a car that's, well, the jack of all trades and master of none sort of one that can't necessarily win many circuits because there's always something better than it, but it does score consistently. And a team adventure, that's really helpful to have if you work everywhere. When you're doing these kind of individual races, does mean we may well be often sat around podium spots, but winning a race might be difficult. We're losing ground to the Aston Martin now. When we were fighting with it, we could make life difficult enough for it that we could almost keep pace. But now we're going to have to try... Oh, the Railton is going to get underneath. The Railton can get underneath, though, because it will never... Oh, it does actually get stopped. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think that was going to make that corner. I thought it was going to have to brake so much earlier, but it wasn't actually all that bad. So the Railton, while normally is rear brakes only, if you upgrade the brakes in Forza, you do get some front brakes. So that's why it's not completely uncontrollable as we head on to the final lap of the race. Can I get back past it into turn 1? I have to do this. The only chance I have is compromise. Compromise the Railton in one way or another. Make it really, really difficult for that car to operate, because that is the only way that I beat it here. So we're going to leave a gap down there, because it can go that side of us and it doesn't... it's just too quick. It's just got too much straight line speed, and I do not have an answer to that. We can try... send it around the outside. I mean, we've got the run with the... That's a hell of a run, actually. That's a hell of a drive around the outside, whereas the finish line... Oh, the finish line is too far away for us. If it could have been a little bit sooner, we might hold on. We might still. It's not... Oh, it's not going to do it. Oh, I thought we were going to lose that. Oh, we got a podium. That's a hell of a pass. I'm very pleased with that overtake around the outside of the Railton. Very pleased with that. God... And also, fastest laps, again, the top two were a bit quicker than the rest of us, but from third back to 7th, we're all in the 45s. Not much separating that lot. In fact, the Anglia was very quick as well. That's a good race. That's a fun battle. It's a really fun battle with an unusual... Plymouth Fury versus the Railton is not a normal battle you see, but a good fun one nevertheless. So, we are on to our final race with these classic cars. Hoping I might have a bit of a better time. I don't know how well we're going to work around here. We're back to it's an off-road circuit-ish, in as far as it's probably about 60% tarmac. We'll give it a try. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We don't have a terrible place on the grid in this one. I mean, the Chevy is probably still the one to watch that is ahead of us here, but I don't really know how the cars are going to work around the different circuits. We've got a big old hill to begin this one with. The Alfa Romeo is going to enjoy that, but it's also going to lose a lot of time as soon as we get onto the dirt. So that's to be expected. The big hill might give the Chevy problems. If it is down on power compared to the rest of us, that could give it some grip. It's definitely up on grip, which makes me think that could be rally tyres on there, because it's so much quicker through the corners than the rest of us. And if it is the case, it's probably going to be quite good out here. Oh, that's a bad place to go into, or come out of ghost mode, I should say. Oh, it's through the middle of everything. That would suggest that that is maybe some rear-wheel drive rally tyre action going on. The Alfa Romeo is to the inside of us. Give us a little bop along the way. That's fine. We are going to slide our way. Oh, okay. This might be the first race that we've done that is 3 different surfaces. It is tarmac. Okay, it's actually more on dirt than I realised. It's on tarmac, mud and gravel, basically. Oh, and there's a water splash. It's got everything. That's good. I like that. Now, can we go? The question is, can I pass the Chevy up the hill? This is kind of a big important thing, really, because if it's too far down on power that I can keep passing it up the hill, maybe we can defend from it at some point. I think we might be at the tantalisingly close but not quite good enough point. Here we go. I mean, we've got a good run, but it's not quite enough to do very much here. We will try and duck back underneath as best we can through here now. Oh, a little bit of a lean on our way through. Oh, I put it in a wall. No, I will wait up for the Chevy on that one. It was a little bit of a bump, and it just ended up on the... it got stuck on like the edge of the wall, so we will wait for that. It was... like the rubbish, like let's say, rubbish racing sometimes with this stuff. The little light contact, that's fine, but if you squeeze a car out towards the wall and it hits an invisible bit and gets stuck, I'm going to wait because I don't want to overtake a car in that particular manner. I've got a really itchy nose. I think my hay fever's going to play up. Please don't sneeze while going into a corner. Stop bodily malfunctions. Please behave yourselves. That time the Chevy just went too deep into the final corner. The braking zone there is... The braking zone there is difficult because of the water. You kind of hit the water and you lose some speed, so you can get away with braking later than you would normally, because you can use the water to slow you down, but you've also then got to judge a completely different sort of braking zone almost to any other, and no one knows these tracks necessarily, or hasn't driven these for a very long time. I still try to drive on the verge of a sneeze. Please don't. I thought itching my nose on the straight might sort it out, but nope. It's just going to be really irritating for this... for this race. Oh well, we've got a couple more. Let's got a couple more laps. We'll try and fend off. I mean, it's the dirt sections are where I'm vulnerable with this car. As you can see, it is making a lot of speed up behind us. We're just going to kind of park it. I mean, we can defend, and that is something we can do. And of course, down this section here, we're probably going to not be too bad. You know, it's not really tyre grip's not so important, and we have the top speed advantage. Are they going to have a look to the inside? Maybe. Into the final corner. We're just going to park it on the apex. Still looking underneath, but will not get the run off the corner. The Corvette is up into 3rd place behind. If we start fighting one another too much, we might see the Corvette catch up. We're actually quite a long way away from everybody else in this particular race. We've kind of buggered off a little bit up at the front here. We're going to try and carry good speed around the hairpin and just, if I can keep the gap far enough away that the Chevy struggles to pass through the opening bit of the dirt. Oh, that was too ambitious. No. Oh, okay, I was too ambitious. The only good news for me is the Chevy also did a similar thing. I just cannot turn well enough, can we? Although, maybe we can get up the inside here and compromise. I've got to brake earlier, though, than the car we're racing, because, although, again, we somehow... I didn't think we were going to be making that. I keep saying, start a sentence, and it turns out something different slightly happens that we weren't prepared for or expecting. It's not quite held on, unfortunately, through all of this. We've now fallen back. We're going to, and it's going to rely on a mistake really from the Chevy here if we're going to be able to do all that much in finding a way past. This time around the Chevy is spot on through that final corner. We can use our power on the run up the hill for this final lap, and maybe we can make life awkward for that car. That is the hope, really. It's about all the hope that we have on this one. Can we go around the outside of this corner? No, we can't. That was never likely to be on. We're just a little too far back by the time we got to the top of the hill. Okay, got a little lift this time, not quite as far wide. We both run similarly wide, but not quite all the way out to the wall. We're neater through there. The Chevy is sliding about in all of this. It might, I don't know what, I genuinely don't know what tyres it is on. It might be a more modern compound tyre and be sports or streets or something. Whatever it is, it's better on the dirt than I am, regardless, and generally better in the corners by a little bit. We are holding our own with the with the Fury, but I'm just too far back again. It's 4/10. The lap times are super similar between us. I'm not going to be in range to have a big dive at the final corner here. The Chevy is a little bit wide. We get a really, really good run through all of this. It's going to be really close, but we don't do it. Oh, we got to the door. If that finish line had been a little bit further down, if that finish line had been just a bit further down the road, we would have got it. What a race. That was a that was a hell of a finish, and Christ, our cars were quick around there. We were a lot quicker than the rest of the field. The Railton, funnily enough, down at the bottom, not enjoying life. The Anglia struggled. The Alfa Romeo up in 7th place. I guess because you probably used all its power up the hill and kind of that run towards the final corner. It could use its power a little bit, but you know, still very difficult to drive. Corvette will get 3rd ahead of the Maserati in 4th. Yeah, we might have run away from the rest of the field, but we had one hell of a battle up at the front. Unfortunately, the Plymouth could not quite take victory, although that was the track that it was working best at. That, though, is going to be it for this video. If you'd like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, it will be back to being a team adventure. Next time out, there'll be a link in the description of the video to the forums. You can sign up in there. The paint as well, if you're interested, by the way, I'll put the person's game tag in the description as well. If you want to go download this, it's shared on Horizon 4. So if you fancy having a Plymouth Fury that looks like it's not quite the right generation of Fury, of course, but the livery is pretty damn spot on to my actual Fury, which is really cool. So thank you very much for building. I think it was GT Minion, if I remember correctly. Yeah, thank you very much. Very, very cool paint. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thanks for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.